to top that, and it's usually a food that God provided for us, didn't come from a processed box, like the beans and the rice and all the vegetables, and it is just is Adventist staple, and it tastes really good. So y'all should be very happy with lunch and the dessert. Did you try the cookies? I think the almond cookies. They were so good, and the apple crisp. Yeah, thank you for everybody that worked so hard with the lunch. It was really good. Okay. Deep breath. We will start with God's pharmacy in nature. Before we talk about how to use the natural medicines, I need to make sure that you understood that God works with a combination of steps. First, we will have communion with God, and then we'll go to bed early for a good rest. Then we will drink more water. We will control our thoughts to not be angry all the time. We will be in nature. We'll do exercise. We'll eat healthy. And then we'll combine with the natural medicine. You can use supplements, yes, you can, but you are not going to use a supplement to mask another problem, right? We want to find out the root of the problem. My husband went to the doctor, and his doctor said, well, I don't know, you're having some problem, saliva going through the wrong place. Here, a medicine for you. And he said, well, I want to know what's causing it. Don't you want to know what causes that, to solve the root of the problem instead of just taking medicine to maybe 2 or 3 years later you take another medicine to cover the damage the other medicine made, right? It's just, when we are prescribed a pill, it seems that we are simplifying and just taking a pill for it. But actually, when you think long term, it will add the effects, and you have side effects. And all that time you wasted, you should have just say, okay, let's do the go to bed in time, drink more water, do more exercise. So God works with a combination of things. And you know what's very interesting? That when I start doing my research with the natural medicine and everything, in the book, Ministry of Healing, there is a part there that the author says, the 8 laws of health today represents for us what the manna was for the Israelites. A test. Isn't that interesting? Think about that. What time you need to gather manna? Early in the morning. What time we wake up to pray? Which days of the week would come? And the Saturday? Can you see the 8 laws of health with gathering the manna being a test for us? So you can think about that this week and see all the amazing things that God start putting together, all the puzzles start to come together. So God works with a combination of things. It's not just food. It's not just sleep. It's not just natural treatment. That's what I want to make sure that you understand. It's not just the natural treatment. Oh, I ate a lot of bad things, so I will go home and I will take charcoal and put clay on my belly. And I keep eating bad. It makes sense? Okay, so everybody got that part. Good, so we can move. When I was working at that hospital, the natural hospital, they would wake up very early, walk in the grass. Then they would go to do enemas, and they had powerful machine. I think you have here in Richmond too, the hydrocolonic. It's like 20 liters of water, and it cleans your intestines. And so they had that, right? Maybe it was around 6 o'clock. And then you would go to your bed, and they would put a towel in the bed, and a person would come with buckets of clay and cover you in clay. And you would be that way for 2 hours. After you did that, you would go to the showers and do the hydrotherapy, the water treatment on your feet, on your belly, on your whole body. And then you would go to classes, and throughout this whole time, the nurses would come and bring a little cup of green juice or just water. The first day was just water, and then the next 2 days, juice, and so forth, till you do at least 10 days of fasting, water, fruit, and juice. And after that period, you would start eating. After the 10 days, then you would start eating. So why they do all these? Because everything we put inside of our body, everything we eat, every cream we use in our body, it has hormones, it has chemicals, it has toxicity, and everything that gets in our bloodstream will contaminate our body or will bring healing to our body. So everything we put here, everything will be for life or for death. Interesting, right? When we go to this clinic, the first thing they do is take your food away to give time to your body to take the toxins out. When we don't exercise, we don't sweat. That's a door for toxins to get out. When we don't drink water, we don't have a lot of pee to do. We don't urinate a lot. So the toxin stays in. Urine is one of the ways of taking toxins out of the body. They do the enema because everything we eat that is bad needs to go through the stage of putrefaction or decay. It will be decayed before it goes out. So all that stays inside of us, creating toxins. And those toxins circulate in our blood, and it'll go poison the terminations of our organs. The capillaries, remember the arteries and veins, the tiny ones, they get clogged. They get clogged with cholesterol, with all kinds of things that can clog that. So we don't have good circulation, oxygenation. And all the toxin gets trapped inside of the body. So we need to go through shock period where your body goes through this shock with no food, lots of water, and the clay. And we are made of what? Clay. We were formed with clay. We were made of clay. But yeah, you are right. We are 70% water. But God made us from clay. Clay is very alkaline. When we are sick, our body is very acidic, and it doesn't have good circulation or oxygenation. What the clay will do is pull the toxins, help your body to get rid of the toxins. We'll pull it. It will work if I go back to my old life and keep doing the clay. It's not going to work, right? So once we start doing the natural treatment, we say goodbye to the old ways because we feel so much better. We don't want to go back. I used to love all kinds of bad sweets. Really, really. I told you, right, the Krispy Kreme. Now I see that it gives me pain. I don't enjoy that anymore, because if I eat a couple of those, I will be in pain later. My mind will not work right. I will be angry and stressed. My whole digestive system will be stopped like rocks inside of the stomach. So it's a pain that I don't want to go there. So once you start changing and using the natural treatments to detoxify your body, you don't want to go back. And if you do, you say, oh Lord, please help me to stand up again and keep walking. Just don't worry too much about it. Just keep walking. Keep going to the next step. So what can we do with clay? We can do everything that will help the digestive system to get rid of toxins. It will take from your whole body and will concentrate on your intestines to get out of your body. Nice? Can you do this at home? You can. It takes a lot of work, but you can go to a farm and you take about, well, I would say a meter. What is this? It's about 10? 2 feet? 2 feet. You take 2 feet of the topsoil, throw it away, and you start getting deeper than that. You can get the clay. In Virginia, the soil is mostly done with clay. So you take the rocks away, and you mix the clay with water, and we'll have a consistency of cake batter, uncooked cake batter. And so you will spread that in your belly. You don't need to try to do that in your whole body. It's a lot of work. But you put that in your belly, and you try to do that for about 10 days, and can only stay for 2 hours. When my dad had stomach surgery, his surgery was not doing well. His recovery was really bad. And my mom asked the doctor if she could do the clay treatment. She said, you tried everything, and he's not healing. Like the whole surgery wasn't sticking together. So it was open. It was crazy. He was drinking water. The water would be coming out. And so the doctor said, okay, I will just close my eyes to it. I didn't see anything. You didn't ask me anything. You can do that on the time that I'm not here and the nurses are not around, so do that very early in the morning. So my mom did that, and in about 3 days, it started to have beautiful new skin to close the surgery. And it was amazing to see how fast can work. And of course, he wasn't just doing that. He was doing lots of green juice. So how works the clay? The clay is alkaline and will help to pull toxicity out of our body. We are sick when we don't have good oxygenation and when our body is acidic. Have you heard about acidic diet and alkaline diet? Everything that is acidic is what man processed and transformed. Everything that's alkaline is what God created for us to eat. So an alkaline diet will bring you life, abundant life. So we work hard on turning our body alkaline. The hydrotherapy is, I misspelled that, ugly. Hydrotherapy has a TH somewhere there, right? Yeah, you will see lots of little Portuguese in the presentation, sorry. So the hydrotherapy, how it works, hydrotherapy? It will promote circulation in our body. Remember, the oxygen brings life. So every treatment that God gives to us in nature, it will help with circulation. The same thing with hydrotherapy. This is the next step they do at the clinics is one bucket, the one in the feet, is with very hot water, and the one that he's sitting on is very cold water. So he seated there and we would stay there for about half an hour, and always would have a nurse come and add more hot water, and would have a little cloth, very soft cloth, and would be making movements in the stomach and the intestine to activate the peristaltic movement, because sometimes we take so much medicine and we hurt so much our gut that it doesn't have that movement anymore. So we would have to activate that movement with half an hour of working on it. So the person would just sit there and do the movement. And would do that for the 18 days or 20 days that would stay in the clinic. So that would promote circulation in the whole body, plus the massage that the own person would be doing in the belly. And also would help the toxins to concentrate in the intestines to be put out of the body. This one is another one with hydrotherapy, misspelled again. It's in Portuguese too. This is called alternated, do you have an English name for that? Cold and hot water? What's the name? Contrast. But the bucket, to feed, alternate. So you have one bucket with very hot water and one bucket with very cold water. This also stimulates circulation. So you guess what you're going to do here, right? You put your feet in hot water for about a minute, and you put in cold water for about half a minute. And you do that for 20 to 30 minutes. Can you feel your blood circulating, just the thought of it? If you can't do all these at home, you can do that in the tub. You put the buckets there and you can sit, but it's a lot of work and water gets spilled and it's just messy. You can do that in the shower. You can try to do the shock thermic in the shower. You put really hot water and then really cold water, really hot water and really cold water. And you can scream, it's fine. It's hard, but just think about these. Your skin is the biggest organ you have, and it's open. We take showers, hot showers, really hot showers. What happens to the pores when we take hot showers? They open. So we need the cold water to close it. I went to Elwood's one time, and they had this big thing going on about skin products. And one of the main banners they had there, it was, it's funny, if you can't eat, don't put it on your skin. Think about these. Can we eat our shampoo, our cream? If you can't eat, don't put it on your skin. Because it will go to our bloodstream. It will be circulating on our bloodstream. So the same thinking here is giving more oxygen, more circulation through the body to help toxins to get out. The next one is the fever bath. Ooh, this one is hard. Have you heard of the fever bath? It's interesting, the concept. What is fever? How we get fever? Why we get fever? So fever is a response that your body have of attack. When we get in contact with a virus or a bacteria, the first responders will run through our blood, and if we don't have a good blood circulation, it will not run fast enough, right? So they are ready to attack, and they use the fever, the high temperature, to get your body ready to kill the invaders. And then we take Tylenol. I had an old pediatric teacher. He would say, do not prescribe any fever reducer. Tell the mother, the grandmother, to use water. Put that kid in a tub. How we control bad temperature? We control it with water. And we need to let the body work on its own. Of course, if it gets super high, you use a fever reducer. But when you let your body have the fever, it's when the cells, your body cells, start to attack and kill the invader. Interesting, right? So, what they did was, if we take this thinking and apply for cancer treatment or autoimmune disease, the cells will go around the body trying to find the invader, will not find it, but will find the cells that are growing abnormally and will try to kill it. And it worked amazingly. So the person would have provoked fever, and they do that in Heartland, Wildwood. You've been to Wildwood, right? Did you do the fever treatment there? You didn't need to. Yeah. But you didn't have to do the fever bath. Okay, yeah, you probably didn't need it. But so it's better if you are in an environment where you have more people to help, because you can pass out. So they will force a fever, and the water is 110 Fahrenheit, and the person will lay there for 30 minutes. But the head can never be hot. We have seizures because the head gets heated. So why we are so scared of fever? Because it gets so high that we can have seizures, right? So how we control the fever, the temperature in our head? With cold water. So they have a bucket of icy cold water, and they change that. You see the white towel in his head? They change that towel every minute. The head needs to be protected, very cold. So if you have a fever at home, what you do, you take a cold shower or a warm shower or a bath, and you stay there till your temperature starts to normalize, and take care of the head. Always put a cold wet towel in your head. And for my kids, what I used to do is I used to put the cold towel in their belly, under the armpit, and in between their legs. What I learned from my experience is that when I used to give them the fever reducer, within 3 days, they would have a bad infection. They would have a throat infection, an ear infection, a UTI, any kind of infection, or a really heavy cold. But when I started allowing their body to fight, I would keep their temperature with cold towels in their head, and that means a lot of work. We have to stay up. I stayed up so many nights, changing the towel. When that would happen, it would take 2 days for the body to fight and attack and kill the virus or the bacteria, and my kid wouldn't get sick. So can you see the whole process of the disease? It won't progress. It will get to a point where your body will fight it. Sorry, my kids forgot something important at home. So when you give the right tools to your body can fight and you will not suffer the consequences of having a developed problem in your body. So I would give them just fruit and water because their body need to preserve the energy to fight the invader. And if you put heavy foods, all your energy, your body energy, will be on digesting the food and not taking care of the invader. So we take food away, not totally, but we give just water and fruits. That's the easiest thing for your body to digest. And we do the cold treatment, and within 3 days, the most they would have would be a runny nose. And I use that for myself too, and it really works. So remember to protect the head always. Very cold, cold towels in the head. So the person would be laying there for the 30 minutes. When the 30 minutes were done, that fever would be up to 102. So the body will try to have the same temperature as the water. So if you put cold water, if you have a high fever, you put lukewarm to cold water there and sit there for half an hour, what will happen to your fever? Who used to use that medicine? Your grandmother, right? My grandmother did. If I was sick, anything, she would put me in a tub, or she would give me the most awful thing ever. It was the onion peel tea. I would say, oh, my stomach hurts. She would do the onion peel tea, and I would drink that, and in 10 minutes would be out. No more stomach pain. So the person would be laying there for half an hour. The body would start to activate the process of fighting the invader. And then they would put cold water, just a shock of cold water, and put the person in like a burrito, put in a lot of blankets. Person would lay down for more half an hour. So the body would maintain that temperature, 102, for almost an hour. And that's the time that your bloodstream will start to try to get the invader. Always the head is cold. When was done, the whole process of being in a blanket would go to the cold shower and sit down a little bit, because, you know, when you have a fever, you're tired and you're sleepy. And so that's the principle of the fever bath. If you ever hear about the fever bath, it's really, it works really well. And they use that for cancer treatment and for autoimmune disease. The next one is intestinal cleansing. This is an enema bucket. You can buy that and use that maybe every 3 months or every 6 months, or every time that you feel that your digestive system is not working properly. Of course, if you drink a lot of water and eat a lot of foods with fiber, like lots of fruits and vegetables, you're never gonna have this problem. But I had a lady that called me. She was desperate. Her daughter was 5 years old, and she would go to the bathroom, number 2, every 10 days. And she would cry because it was hard and painful, and she had to go many times to the ER to do enemas over there. And can you imagine the pain that this poor little thing would go through? And I said, okay, well, what she eats for breakfast? They were Koreans. And she said, the only thing she likes is rice. White or brown? White. Okay. What she eats for lunch? Mac and cheese. Mm. White or whole wheat? Oh, white. Oh, she wouldn't touch the other one. What she eats for dinner? Oh, something with more rice. Maybe chicken nuggets with rice. So if she was going every 10 days to the bathroom, that's really good. Her body was really trying to work. If I do that, I won't go to the bathroom for a long time. What was she missing in her diet? Fiber, fruits, and vegetables. Whose fault is that? Who buys the food for the house? Who puts the food in the plate? She was 5. How can we let a 5-year-old dictate to us what we'll eat and what we'll not, right? We give options like, do you want apples or you want pears? Right? Those are the options we give to our kids. They don't have a broad options. Do you want white rice? You want brown rice? We just give it to them. Do you want whole wheat pasta or you want brown rice? You know? We give them the options. We buy it. But you know what the problem is? Is that we want to eat it too. So that's why it's at our house, right? That's how those foods end up in our house. It's hard. Okay. So I asked, your daughter drinks water? Oh, no. She'll drink juice, apple juice. She goes through the house all day with her little sippy cup with apple juice. So when we go through life doing a lot of white carbs with no fiber, it's really hard for the intestines to get rid of all that. White carbs, especially white bread. Have you heard of the Wonder Bread? It's really wonderful. You can step on it. You can drive your car on it, and it will come back to the same shape. When you get that bread and you mush it all in your hand, it will turn into like a silicone ball. I think it will bounce. That glue stays inside of our intestines for years. Many, many years. And you go to do a colonoscopy, and it come out there normal backup stools. Normal amounts of backup stools. What is that? Rock poo-poo. That is stuck, oh, poo-poo, ew. Rocks of that wonder bread, that wonderful bread, that gets stuck and glued to your intestines. Your body survives in what your intestines can pull out the nutrients to send to your bloodstream. So that glue there, full of toxins, putrefied, it stays there, and your blood tries to suck nutrients out of it. We are still alive by miracle. Some doctors, when they started doing the colon cleanse, they start noticing that they measured somehow how many years that have been inside of the person. Some would be 40, 50 years that it stays in there. So can your intestine pulls nutrients if it has normal backup stool amount? Okay, so how can we have a very healthy gut? We drink lots of water, because the water is what will make everything flow out and pull toxins out. Eat lots of Food with fiber. Can you eat carbs? Yes, you can eat carbs. Even if you have diabetes, can you eat carbs? Yes, you can. What kind of carb and what amount of carb? The carb can only be if it has a lot of fiber. And what's the amount? The palm of your hand. That's it. And more than half of the plate should be fruits and vegetables, which have a lot of fiber. So if we do that, and we eat 3 times a day, how many times we go bathroom number 2? We should do 3 times, right? If we eat 3 times, we should go bathroom 3 times. Okay. Are we there? 3 times? So where is the other meals? Where are the other meals? Normal backed up stool. So we need do the healthy carb. Other thing that have been really, really bad is the amount of fat in the food. That can also make your intestine works very slow. And all that fat sticks to the intestines, and it's really hard to get out. Just imagine that you are cleaning a grill right after grilling bacon. Bacon, I think it's what has the most fat, right? How you clean that grill? They have like a metal brush. Do we have a metal brush inside of us? No, right? How our body will get rid of that fat? It won't. It goes around the heart. It goes to our arteries and veins. It goes around our liver. And it sticks to the walls of our intestines. So that's why in the clinics, they do, if you stay there for a month, for 10 days, for 20 days, they will do the intestinal cleanse every day. You don't need to do that when you start having a good diet. You don't need to do that for a long period of time. If you do that once a year or twice a year, that's good. Or if you want to do the colonic clinic, they're very good. I think we have 2 here in Richmond, and the 2 clinics are very good. The lady will give you a diet that you need to follow, because if you don't follow that diet, it will not be, the intestine will not be in the consistency ready to get those rocks to get out of the intestine. It sticks there like a glue. So just with a lot of healthy eating, you'll be able to get that out of our system. Other treatment that they use in the clinics is the poultice. Did I say it right? Poultice. So they mix lots of other herbs to the clay to help the clay to be very alkaline. So they use flaxseed and ginger to bind things, and then they use lots of charcoal in there too. So it will be a very thick consistency. They mix that with the clay, and that will help for every problem that you have, since arthritis or pain on articulations that you have no idea what it is. So every place that we have pain is because we have inflammation. Your body is trying to fight something right there. So if we give the body the right tools to work, your own body will take care of that inflammation. So they use the diet, right? The person stop eating, will just juice, and we use the flaxseed, ginger, and the clay and the charcoal. Other thing they use is cabbage. Cabbage, they just grab a big leaf of the cabbage and roll on it to be flexible, and put on where you have pain and wrap it. You can wrap with the plastic, the Ziploc plastic. That will also help to alkalinize the body. There was a lady there that she had lots of problems in her uterus and ovarium. And they were doing the cabbage. She would wear it like a pad. Every 2 hours they would change and put a new one. And within 10 days, she had a bad discharge. And she said it smelled awful. And pieces of a tumor came out. Interesting. So it's amazing what we can see in the clinics. Onion. Onion, if we have a ear infection, a ear ache, or if we have something that we don't know what it is, you slice an onion and you put right there, put in your ear, and will help to pull the pus out, pull the infection out. If you have an abscess, anything that it's a little lump with pus formation, you can put an onion there, and that will help to pull more pus out. So will dry faster. And the onion has antibacterial properties and will help to kill the bacteria or the virus, and fungus also. Onion will not hurt the skin, but garlic will. If you have something that it's, the sores in the mouth, they are very painful, and it's a virus, or sometimes it's a fungus like candida, oral candida. So what you can do, you get a piece of garlic and you burn the sore with it. It's painful, but will be really painful for about a minute, and then the pain goes away. So then when it starts being painful again, you do that again, and it will help. At least you'll get some relief for 2 hours. Pumpkin is also very alkaline. They use a lot of shredded pumpkin for arthritis. The next one would be carrots. Carrots is also very alkaline. They would mix carrots or carrot juice in the poultice with the clay. Charcoal. Sister White used a lot of charcoal and clay in her natural treatments when she was helping people around her neighborhood. Somebody brought a man that was told that he had a couple of hours to live. They wanted her to pray over him. So they just left him there. And she said, what if I use some burned wood and clay there? And she did. She put the ashes in the clay, and with a couple of hours, he opened his eyes. Dandelion. Dandelion we usually treat as a bad weed, right? But dandelion is actually very good and very alkaline. When my husband was having a lot of gastritis and it was really painful, he would go out in the yard and get dandelion greens and chew on it, and it would give him some relief for an hour or two, and then he would go back there and get some more. And so it works really fast. It's very alkaline and will fight the acidity of our body. Charcoal. Charcoal pulls toxins away. I advise you just to do the charcoal when you are sick, like if you are having a cold or a flu, or if you ate something that you have a headache, or you are throwing up, or you have some liver problems. Usually, when we have liver problems, our mouth tastes very bitter. Have you noticed that, or have you ever felt that? When we eat very heavy foods and very fat foods, fried foods, our liver will complain about it. So it will give to our mouth a bitter taste. And when that happens, we know we need to go easy on what we are eating and say goodbye to the fried foods. And then you can do the charcoal. So it's a mechanism of your body to tell you, stop eating. Food will not taste good, will be bitter. So don't eat, give me a break. So you do the charcoal, and 1 teaspoon of charcoal in a cup of water, you mix well, and you drink that. That will help you with nausea, will help you with intestinal problems if you have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, if you have gastritis, if you have sores in your mouth, anything that is making your body very acidic, the charcoal will help. It will help to pull the toxins out. In the ER, we use a lot of charcoal to do a cleanse in the stomach of patients that abused on any form of medicine. Comfrey. Comfrey looks just like the dandelion, but it has pointier leaves. So if you see something that looks just like dandelion but has spiky leaves, or if you don't know, get an app on your phone. Just Google will do it. You take a picture of it and we'll try to find and match, and you see if that's really comfrey. But if you don't know, just use dandelion. A friend of ours, he went to our house and he said, oh, I got some horrible poison ivy, and it's just, I can't sleep, and it's just so painful. I can't go to work, and it's just, I can't do anything. I want to cry. And I said, this is not poison ivy. Let me see it. And he pulled his shirt. It was zoster, herpes zoster, shingles. And I said, oh, no wonder you were saying all that, because poison ivy, of course, it's horrible, but it's not that you cannot go to work or you want to cry. And so he said, oh, what can I do? I said, there's not much. You know, when we have zoster, it's really painful. Anything you put on will be even more painful. So I told him a couple of things that we could do. Charcoal with coconut butter, and you spread very lightly. Or I said, if you are brave, we can try the comfrey. I had comfrey there. So we mash the comfrey, put in between 2 very clean gauze, and put around. And he said it was stinging for maybe a minute or 2. And after that was just relief. So it's amazing what God's nature can do to our body. Juice fast. At the clinic, that's the program they would follow. And once you start doing these, you just don't want to go back to your old habits, because it's going to be painful. You will feel so good that you don't want to go back the way you were feeling before. The first day is just water. If the person has diabetes, they will not do fruit juice. They will do green juice. So the person will stay there at the clinic. The period it stays there for 10 days. First day is water. Second day is green juice, 8 ounces, every 2 hours. And they would intercalate 1 hour juice, 1 hour water, 1 hour juice, 1 hour water. Imagine this amount of water to go to the bathroom. How many toxins you are taking out of your body with just this process. So the person starts to feel really good after a day or 2. You feel you don't feel hungry. You have a desire to eat. Is different. Being hungry and I want to eat is very different. So the person that has diabetes would only stay on the green juice for 10 days, and they would alternate. They would put a little bit of carrots and kale, spinach, lettuce. They use all kinds of greens, and cucumber would be the main source of their green juice, like what would have the most in the green juice. Usually, the person that takes a lot of medicine for diabetes would not need to take anything after 3 days. Even the insulin-dependent patients. That's something that I don't recommend you to do it on your own. It's better if you go to a clinic. If you want to go to a clinic, I know one in Illinois that is cheaper. And they are nonprofit, they are Adventists. And you need bring a person to help you because they don't have all the staff. That's why they are cheaper. Basically, just cover for the food. And it's a really good place. It's in Illinois, very cold. Very cold. So going back to the clinic, the 1 day of water, and for the person that doesn't have diabetes, this would be the program. 2 days with carrot juice. Carrots are very alkaline, so would help the body to alkaline everywhere. Carrots help your body to be alkaline. Where we have an alkaline body, disease cannot survive. Interesting. The same with oxygen. The next 2 days would be melon juice. So the carrot would be on the juicer, in the extractor. 1 hour carrot, 1 hour water. Water, carrot, all day. The next 2 days, melon juice would be blended, no water, and that's really good. It tastes really good. You think you'll be very weak and not be willing to do anything, but it gives a lot of energy. It's amazing. Elaine, you did that, right? How did you feel with your energy level? We do have more energy doing the juice. The next 2 days would be watermelon juice, also in the blender. No water, so you blend it really well, and you can strain it. The next 2 days, pineapple juice in the blender also, every 2 hours. The carrots are very alkaline. They make your body alkaline. The melon will help to renew the cells of your liver. Amazing. And will also help with your uterus and ovarian problems. The watermelon will help with your kidney function. The pineapple would work like a Clorox on your arteries and veins. Like a good Clorox will help to melt the fat that got stuck there in the arteries and veins and capillaries. And everything would be water, juice, water, juice, water, juice. The next week would be just fruits. So the person would eat, let's say, bananas, just bananas. You can eat the amount of bananas you want, but you cannot mix with anything. And then after an hour, you drink water. And in 2 hours, so now it's every 3 hours, you do something different. You can eat a different fruit every 3 hours and cannot forget the water. So you can choose throughout the day how many fruits do you want to eat, but just one quality of fruit. You could not mix the fruit. So your body will not waste energy trying to digest your food. That energy will be used for healing. The next week, you could mix the fruits and you could intercalate everything with salads. In the salad, the most amount of salt you could do would be like a little bit on top, very tiny tad bit. And you could use, I think they would do 3 olives and no olive oil. nothing that comes from a processed plant. If you want to eat oil, if you want to taste the olive oil, they would give you an olive. Taste the olive oil in the olive. So no fat. So it would be fruits for breakfast. You could mix 2 or 3 fruits. Here you could do the overnight oats. You could make your own almond milk. That's just almonds blended with water, or coconut blended with water, and that is the milk. And you let the oatmeal soak in the water all night, and then in the morning you add fruits to it and nuts and seeds. You can do the flax seeds and all the other seeds too. And then after 3 hours, could do a salad. You could not mix more than 5 things in the salad. So 3 for fruits and 5 for the salad, the vegetables. And then for 1 month, it's 80% raw. So you get your plate, you divide it there, 80% of your plate is raw. 20% needs to be one thing in the form that God made. So it could be sweet potatoes, could be beans, brown rice, but could not mix anything. So you see how easy the digestion, if you are eating like that, how easy your digestive system will be doing the food, and how easy it would be for your intestine pull out all the nutrients from the food. So some people say, but why juice? If we need the fiber, why they do juice so much? It's interesting. I will tell you why. When we are really sick, we are depleted of nutrients in our body. When you take the fiber out with the juicer, through the juicer, that juice will start working and get absorbed into your body within half an hour. While you are drinking and salivating, your body will start to pull the nutrients out. If it has fiber, it takes longer. It takes about 2 hours to start pulling nutrients out. So the person that has cancer per se, and it's very sick, needs nutrients. So that's why we do juice. Have you heard of the Gerson medicine? Gerson medicine? Every juice they do is in a juicer. It's because they know the person that has cancer, the person that is sick, their body cannot handle the digestive system. It will take too many hours to digest and process that food. The person needs nutrients right away. So when you are sick, it's okay if you want to stop eating for 2 or 3 days and you want just juice and drink lots of water. That will give time for your body to heal. I don't know what's next. Just a second. Do we have any questions while they are trying to get things ready there? Do you have any questions? Yes. That's for diabetics. People that has diabetes, they just stay in the green juice. They do 1 day with water, and then the 10 days they stay in the clinic, they do just the green juice. Yeah. But that's in the clinic. That's in the clinic. If the person is at home, they would do just one day. But yeah, the first part, the part with the green juice, is just for diabetics. The person that doesn't have diabetes, let's say high blood pressure, they would do the water and then would go right to the carrot. So 2 days of carrot, 2 days of melon, 2 days of watermelon, 2 days of pineapple, 1 week of fruit, 1 week of fruit and salad, a month of 80% raw, and then 50-50. That's our target, right? That's what we want to do every day. 3 meals a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We want to do half-half. Yes. The carrot juice, yeah, the carrot juice needs to be on a juicer because it's too thick. The green juice you can do in a blender, but if you have something that it's like it's scaring you and you're depleted of nutrients, then you get a juicer. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it needs to measure the glycemic index because the carrot juice is very sweet. The melon juice is very sweet. All the other ones are very sweet. I think for diabetics, they use more the cucumber and other greens, and lots of lemon. So you can change the greens, and it helps if it's in the juicer with the taste. In the blender, it's kind of hard with the consistency to find the right taste to it. Lemon and ginger will help. Lemon and ginger will help for the juice to stay in and not come out. And drink it very slow and mixing with saliva. Yeah. Can I call it? Do you want to say something? He's having some.
So it seems to me that many of you have already done some of these therapies in your own lives. Could we hear from any of you who have already tried one of these to give your own testimony? Rick, you've been elected. I think you volunteered to speak about this. Right. I know you love to hear your voice on the microphone, so I'll bring it to you. If you're like me, you love to hear your voice on the microphone.
Yeah, I have done fever treatments, if anybody's interested in that. And it is kind of interesting, the history of fever treatments is before penicillin or antibiotics, the only treatment that was available, and the man that discovered this treatment actually won, I think it was a Nobel Prize for medicine for that year, and it was a treatment for syphilis. And actually, and then I was using it for treatment of Lyme disease. The syphilis organism, the little organism, bacteria, is very similar in the same kind of organism as Lyme disease. And so I was using that, inducing a fever. Now, I didn't have a fever. I was inducing a fever, and the object was to get the temperature high enough that it would actually kill the organism or damage the organism. And I was doing that. I don't really remember, but probably a couple of weeks of time, and maybe doing it 3 or 4 times a week. It is a very serious and treatment, and you do need to have somebody help you do it. And I was using ice packs on my head and also to induce that. And I was getting the temperature up to about 103. Ivani was mentioning 102, but I think I actually got my temperature up to about 103, and which is quite difficult to do, and you're very exhausted when you're done, and then wrapping yourself up in towels afterwards, and keep that fever going for quite a while. But it's amazing. I do know that there are some people that are actually using this treatment in for COVID. And I don't know how well they were doing it, but I did hear about that. And in a hospital setting, they couldn't do it, get the patient out of bed and into a bath, but they were using a thermophore, which is like a heating pad, and they would get the temperature, raise the temperature up. I don't know how far, but anyway, that's my experience with it. What's that? I would say very beneficial. Yeah.
Thank you. You had a question? Oh? Huh. Yeah. Okay. Let's say that way. It's fermented. Has alcohol. What alcohol will do to our body? Poison. So it's sold as something really healthy because it has probiotics. But when we eat very healthy, we'll have healthy bacteria in our intestine and in our gum that will start to produce the good bacteria to our body. So there is some good things to the kombucha or to the, they do a lot of fermented foods too that is good for you, like the sauerkraut, right? That's fermented. But it will put toxins in too. It will give you maybe a good relief of a couple of hours, but then it has some bad effects. So I think the best thing to do is to use probiotics and to do your own yogurt that doesn't go through the process. It's fermented, but it doesn't produce alcohol. Make sense? Yeah. So we will have the good bacteria. But when we eat very healthy, you don't need to worry about the good bacteria in our body. It will be there. The probiotics. Kefir. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, because the antibiotic will kill the bad bacteria, but it also kills the good bacteria. So when the good bacteria dies, the yeast in our body starts to go up. That's the candida. And that's the yeast overgrowth that we have in our body that it's really harmful to us. There is a doctor that says that 90% of our disease have a root on candida or yeast infection. Yeah. Home yogurt. I do with soy milk. So it's 2 boxes of soy milk. The West soy has just water and soy, and it's organic. Nothing else. If it has more than 6, 7 ingredients, it's not really good, right? So I put that on my pressure cooker. Has a set there for yogurt. And I opened about 4 probiotics, the vegetarian probiotics, and I mix well, and I set there for 12 hours, and in the morning we have soy yogurt. I can send the recipe, the video, and how to do it, yeah. Do we have any more questions? They are working on getting the slides ready. Yes. So you sweat a lot, right? You create a whole environment for your body to sweat, and through sweat, we'll put the toxins out too. So your body will try to get rid of the invader and will go out. Yes. They can start with a cold and hot shower that will help to activate the circulation. They need to cut a few things from their diet. I don't know how willing they are. But number one is that causes inflammation in our body is sugar, and then dairy, and white processed flour. So those are the 3 things that need to be out of their diet really fast. Yeah. Come. Any more questions? Okay. So we were talking about our diet having to be 50-50. If you want to try to change your diet, and you don't want to go through the whole process of drinking water and juice and all that is too much for you, what you can do that will give you a big help is start adding more things. Instead of taking, you add to your plate. What do you add? Fruits and vegetables. When you start to have a taste for the fruits and vegetables, of course, we lost that at some point of our life when we start eating fried food. We don't like the fruits and veggies anymore. So when you start adding the fruits and vegetables and prayer and begging the Lord to help change your taste buds, you will notice that you don't want to eat as many donuts anymore, or white processed carbohydrate, or comfort food. You will not want to do that because your bud tastes are changing and you are having benefits from eating the fruits and the vegetables. You start to feel better, and you can start the elimination process. Start with sugar. Sugar is very addictive, and it's really harmful for our body. It does weaken our immune system. If you want to have a very strong immune system, be in contact with people all the time, people that are sick. If you don't want to get sick, you want to have a very strong immune system. If you have a strong immune system, you can be in contact with pretty much anybody, and your body will not contract a virus or a bacteria. Sugar, number one. Then you move, maybe you do a month without sugar, and you said, okay, I survived, I feel good, no sugar, I'm using honey, maple syrup. Agave is highly processed, but you can do that. It's better than sugar. What's the problem with sugar? Concentration. It's not healthy. I agree with you. It's much better a grape, right? What I was saying. The problem with sugar. The problem with sugar is concentration. Our body cannot handle the concentration. Let me explain that to you. Have you seen sugar cane? Have you chewed on it? Very good, very sweet, very hard. It's like a sugar cane for the ones that never saw it. It looks like a very thick grass, but it's very thick like this, but it's tall. It's a very tall grass and thick, and you cut in half, and it's something very hard, very fibrous, and you chew on it. It's very hard, and it's sweet. Oh, it's delicious, very, very yummy. How big a piece can you eat? Can you eat a piece like that? Maybe like this? Yeah, maybe, yeah, like an adult, I think just a tiny piece we can handle, because it's too sweet and your jaw hurts. You can't do that anymore. So you can eat just a piece, right? Now let's walk through the sugar making process. That's my country main source of money is sugar cane. They will make sugar, and they will make alcohol for the cars. Not just for cars. So to make the sugar, you will get the sugar juice. How many cups of sugarcane juice can you drink? Have you been to 10A or to, there's an Indian store that I forgot the name. They will do sugarcane in a machine right there, for the cup. How many cups of that can you drink? 8 ounces cup, maybe 1. Or you can do 16 ounces. Yeah, it's so delicious. And they put lemon or pineapple, and you can drink a cup, but after a while, your body can't take it anymore. You start to feel nausea and dizziness. And if you keep drinking it, you will throw up. It's a response of your body. So you can drink 1 cup, right? 1 cup has 3 sugar canes. The next process of sugar making is that all that sugar juice will be boiled. And I've seen people doing sugar in the farms that will go to boil and boil and boil, and will be reduced to blackstrap molasses. How many tablespoons of blackstrap molasses can you eat? And a small one, right? I don't know, can you do a tablespoon? It's too much, right? It's very strong, very concentrate. That 1 tablespoon has 5 sugar canes. Can you see from the original state to where we are going with sugar? How much water your body needs to put into that to processed. Massive, right? The next step that keeps boiling, and then they turn off the heat, and will turn in something hard, like a rock, like this. Do you have an English name for that? We have in my country. It's one step before brown sugar. Do you know? Well, but in English. I don't know. The Hispanics call panela. Panela, right? Hispanics. So it's sugar pieces. It's before it goes to the brown sugar. Well, it's raw sugar, but in pieces. It's not processed yet. Crystallized, yeah. So those pieces, how big of a piece can you eat? Maybe a bite. In Brazil, they mix that with lots of peanuts. And so we eat that with peanuts, and the peanuts will help with the... So, but you can eat much. You can eat just a tiny piece. It has about 7 sugar canes in there. The next process is the brown sugar, so it will go through the process of making brown sugar. It gets more concentrate. How many spoonfuls of brown sugar you can eat? Not even one, right? So it's still about 7 spoons, and then it goes through the process of more concentration, the white sugar, the powdered sugar, very refined. 1 tablespoon is about 10 sugar canes. Your body cannot handle concentration. That's why we need to eat things that are in their pure state. If it goes through a lot of boiling and reduction, your body cannot handle it. It will take a lot of effort, a lot of energy from your body, vital energy, to process that. You will think you have a lot of energy, you have a high peak of energy, and then the sugar crash. So that's the problem with sugar. So if you want to change, start with the sugar, and then move to the white processed flour. This is another thing very interesting that I found, is that everything that is white flour has the name comfort food. It's very comforting. Think about these on a spiritual side. Who is our comforter? When Jesus was going to heaven, he said, I leave you a comforter. Food should be our comforting. Even the name of the food is comfort. Is food spirituality? Is there anything to do with it? Do you think it's a coincidence? Satan will let that be a coincidence? No, right? Try to move away from everything that has white processed flour. Start with sugar, go no sugar for a month, and then, of course, you keep going. You're not going back to sugar, right? Say goodbye to sugar. I don't want to see you anymore. And then you move to the high processed flours and try to do everything whole wheat. And if you make bread at home, even better. You can go to stores and grind your wheat right there. And it tastes very different. It tastes a lot better, the bread, if you make it right there. Next, what you should change would be dairy. Dairy is a big cause of inflammation, and anything that has pus production and mucus production is related to dairy. Dairy causes infection. In Brazil, our country is medicine for all, is like public medicine. And it's everywhere that you take your kids to, the pediatrician, they say, don't do dairy for ear infection. Don't do dairy if you have asthma. Don't do dairy if you have allergies. So try to move away from dairy. Use the dairy substitutes. You will feel a lot better. So you have 3 months there. You have a month without sugar, and then you do sugar and the white flour, and then sugar, white flour, and take away all the dairy. And I don't know how many months we are giving in between. Did you do a program yet for the what you were thinking? From one presentation to the other? No? Okay. Yeah, so maybe I was thinking that you guys can start working on something, get together and say, maybe we can try to do a whole month without sugar, and we do a program. Or we can do the 3 months. You try to get rid of all that, and we do another presentation and see what results you have. Something that we can plan. Because I don't want to come here and just tell you and you don't move forward. I want to see you be a living proof out there, helping people around you and being a light and a blessing everywhere you go, where people look at you and say, what you are doing? I want to do that too. And then move to other things that we will be talking more in the next presentations. So it has been an hour. Should we do questions and answers? Yeah? Yeah, we need to wrap it up, right? Do you have more questions? Yeah. Yes, so won't oxidize. Yeah, they were trying. Just remember, the person that goes to do the Gerson treatment is a person that have 3 months of life. So they really need the nutrients, the best pure form they can find. Usually people that go there, they have metastases everywhere. And it's just, they are going there for less resource, and they are about to die. And so when they go there for treatment, they really need to get the most out of the foods they get. And it needs to be on such an easy way for the body to absorb that. Because if it wastes time through the process of digestion, it's just they are losing a lot of time, and they don't have a lot of time. So that juicer really is the best one, but I think it's something ridiculous like 3,000 or more. I think a simple one, it's very expensive. God has a way of healing that shouldn't cost much. Should be very accessible to everybody, and that a very poor person and a very rich person would be able to do with very low cost. And when I see people charging horrific amounts of money, I said, I don't know. God provides his healing just like he provided Jesus for us. It cost us how much? Nothing. So the health message to his people and to everybody, it should be presented in a way that you can do it. If you tell me that this diet is too expensive, I will tell you, no, it's not. It's not expensive. If you go to the store and you just buy the things that God asks you to eat, you will not spend more than $100. It will be a lot cheaper than going around buying the junk food. I know when my kids ask for things that, the processed fake meats, they like that, and they see their friends eating at school, and they say, "Oh, Mom, can we please have that?" Okay, every once in a while we can do some processed food. So I let them have, but I see the cost. I say, "Oh, wow." It's like $5, $6 for a little thing. How much can I buy? How many bags of fruit can I buy with that money that I bought a tiny box? Other person told me, "Oh, this is just so drastic. It's so dramatic, all that change." And I said, "Oh, that's dramatic and drastic. How about open heart surgery?" You see, what we need to weigh the problem and see it's really worth it to waste all that money with surgery or at hospitals, or should I just go and eat more raw foods? Did I answer your question? Yes. Yeah, yeah. Any more questions? We are good. Do you want to pray? Okay, let's stand up for prayer. Do you want to pray, Eduardo, for closing?
Let's bow our heads. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for the hope that you give each of us as we try to live wholesome lives. We battle through many of these subjects where we come from different backgrounds and we have different desires, and we all like to eat what we've always eaten, but as we learn different ways and different things and more ways, wholesome ways to live, we ask you that you may inspire us, truly inspire us with the Holy Spirit, so that we may have the strength to carry them out, to heal ourselves, and to live better, more happy lives. Be with us, Lord, and give us purpose in this mission. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. Okay. Thank you so much. We definitely will have to discuss with the church what is it that we want to do as far as following up. What kind of plan we can design to try to have a follow-up, to try to perhaps use that kitchen in the back. Yeah. See if we can find out how well you cook. No.
I bring my mom.
There you go. I know her. She's a good cook. But as well involved as you all want to get is how well involved we want to get. So it would be nice to have you tell us how far you want to take this. Because she's right, we can